So our last video, we were talking about hyperbola functions. Now, this video is an exam type question. It's actually from February-March 2018. I think the question 6. We will be trying out the question that involves hyperbola function and how to answer questions involving this. At the end of this, you should have a better understanding of what to do and how to approach questions involving hyperbola. I hope you guys like it. Okay, let's get into it. So the question here says the function of f defined by fx is equals to a over x plus p plus q has the following properties. Now, the properties in which you have are the range of f is y is an element of real numbers, y is not equals to 1. We also have the graph of f is passing through the origin. We also have, you have a point which is root 2 plus 2 and root 2 plus 1 lies on the graph f. They ask you to write down the value of q, calculate the value of a and p, sketch a neat graph of this function. Your graph must include asymptotes, if any. The first question here says to write down the value of q. The properties here says that y is an element of R and y is not equals to 1. Now, whenever you have a restriction like that y is not equals to a specific number, is always going to be your asymptote. The first answer would be q is equals to 1. Calculate the value of a and p. To calculate the value of a and p, we would also look at the other properties in which we're given. We're told that the graph of f passes through the origin. Now, what does origin mean? Origin is the center of your Cartesian plane. And at your Cartesian plane, the center is 0 and 0. We can substitute 0 and 0 into the fx formula. So I would rewrite my fx. Substitute 0 and 0. By substituting the origin into the hyperbolic equation, I noticed that I was able to get an equation which is a is equals to negative p. I have used this property. I've definitely used this. The final one in which we have is p, which they say lies on your graph of f, is root 2 plus 2 as your value for x, and root 2 plus 1 as your value for y. So that's a coordinate. So just like we substituted the origin, we would also substitute this coordinate into our graph. The question again asks us to find the value of a and p. And whenever you have a question where you have two unknowns and you have two equations, we normally do simultaneous equation. Since a is equals to negative p and a is equals to 2 plus 2 root 2 plus 2 root p, we will equate both equations together to be able to get our answer. So we have our p as negative 2 to get a, and that will be our two coordinates. Now for question 3, they asked us to sketch a neat graph. Your graph must include asymptotes, if any. Now a couple of informations that we do have is that we can write what our hyperbola graph is going to look like. We know that our y and x intercept is 0 and 0. Another thing we also know is our asymptotes. X equals to 2, y is equals to 1. Since our A is positive, our graph will be drawn in the first and in the third quadrant. And that's it. We have other videos on functions in the playlist below, specifically on hyperbola functions, in which this particular exercise was all about. If you do not understand some of the section, you can watch that and rewatch this video again. Please don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. Thank you.